straw bale gardening in the deep mulch. Just another way you can grow food. Now it started to rain right after we got the peppers in yesterday. These bales are good and soaked and they're good and heavy. But I'm gonna put 4 of them. I'm gonna make a little square here. Then we'll talk about planting in a straw bale. And these are put together with wire, and being on the ground, that wire is rusted, so I've got to be a little careful with this. And being full of water, they're good and heavy. But I'm going to try to butt these together, get them good and tight. You got to be really careful to get bales that aren't treated. I know this doesn't have any graze on or any other spray on it because the seeds that were in these bales, they went ahead and germinated. That's why they kind of look like chia pets. Today is Saturday, and you know what that means. We celebrate you and what's going on in your garden. Let me go ahead and finish moving these into place. While I do that, let's go ahead and take a look at a couple contributors, see exactly what's possible in a deep mulch garden. The squash in Mike and Linda's garden in Zone 8 are doing wonderful. Potatoes are up, tomatoes are in. These raspberries are about ready to start putting on berries. Mike, Linda, I sure appreciate you showing us what's possible in a deep mulch garden. Now Larry's potatoes have just started to break the ground, but the flowers are in full bloom of spring. And those roses are spectacular. Larry, thank you for sharing a little bit of color on this dreary Saturday. Art found out his new greenhouse can get pretty warm. He had to put in some vent fans. He's just about ready to plant out just like I am. Thank you, Art. I'm telling you, the contributors to this channel are just amazing. So what I'm doing now is just putting a little bit of mulch right around the edge of these bales just to kind of hold them in place. And there you go, the start of our new straw bale garden. Now taking a look at one of these bales that we just turned over, we got a little bit of soil stuck to it. It's really started to break down nice. And I know that we had mushrooms growing along the side of some, and we also had seeds germinating in these bales. But by having this soil here, I know that there's life starting to work its way down into the bales. If you're gonna make a straw bale garden and you're just using fresh bales, you're going to want to charge it. That means you put some fertilizer, some NPK, some regular Miracle-Gro, some kind of fertilizer, and you wet that bale. You want to do that for a while before you want to plant in it. But this, by leaving it out all winter long on top of mulched ground where we have a lot of really good microlife, and then having that microlife stuck to it, flipping it over, especially with this rain, that's going to work its way into this bale. They're going to be good and charged and we'll be able to grow just fine. And so what I've done here is I've taken 4 of these bales and I've snugged them really tightly together, and I put just a little bit of the wood chip mulch on top where that soil was stuck to these bales. We're going to let it rain on it until this rain quits. We're in a little lull right now, but then we'll be ready to plant in this in the next couple days. And then you can plant pretty much as normal. You just kind of dig out a little area that you want to put your plant. If you've got to start seeds, we're going to just dig a little furrow and I add a little bit of mulch and we put the seeds down. We've done this a couple years ago and we're pretty successful. We'll see what we get this year. But then again, if you can't have fun in the garden, then it's all work. Right now is a really good time for me to go ahead and take this curly dock out. You want to see what kind of root system we have underneath here? But I know that that soil is good and damp. It should come out pretty easy. Just get underneath here, pull this mulch back a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. But there's a lot of mulch there. Get down the soil, get up to the base of the plant. And I know this is a big old, I know this got a big old taproot in there, so I'm going to go down as deep as I can. Kind of try to work that loose. You just break it off. Look how big that root is. We still broke quite a few pieces off, we'll see what comes up. And as part of the cut and drop, we'll just let that wilt down. It's going to become part of the mulch. And since our peas have started to take off, I want to make sure they got plenty to trellis against. Let's go ahead and give them a little more support. And you know what I forgot? This time of year, you need to bring your scissors or clippers or a pocket knife, something. There's always going to be something to cut. Now, while I go to the house and get something to cut this with, let's go ahead and take a look at a couple more of our contributors. Walter took a little break from his deep mulch garden, took a trip to California. Thought we might appreciate a couple of sights and sounds he saw. And he stumbled onto some hot sauce. I'm glad you made it back safe, Walter. Thank you. Down in Zone 9, Bruce's Food Forest, the harvest is underway. And what do we say? The hardest thing you do in a deep mulch garden is harvest. But it's well worth it. Landy is just about ready to start planting. Her seedlings are coming up really well. Landy had a really good idea about getting free mulch for your garden. Go to the local feed store, not the big box stores, but the local feed store. They usually have some kind of shed or trailer that they're storing their hay and straw in. Once they've sold it all, there's a bunch of loose. Now they got to pay somebody to sweep that up, and then they got to do something with it. If you talk to the owner and you tell him he'll go ahead and clean it out if they'll let you have it, usually they're tickled. But here's the thing, if you're going to create a relationship like that, do business with them. But in small areas all across America, I know folks would be more than happy to have you help them. You know, I started this because I didn't want to weed anymore, and I thought folks might be interested. But since we've been doing these Saturday reviews, this community has motivated me to come out here every day and show you just exactly what's possible in a deep mulch garden. And it's tips like Landy brought to us today. You can do this too. And I encourage you to become part of this community. There is no obligation. All you need to do is send in a photo now and again. Help motivate others, show them what's possible in the deep mulch garden. Do me a favor, hit that like button. Let everybody know just how much you appreciate them sharing what's going on in their garden. All I'm gonna do is just roll this over onto the furry side, let that break down a little bit. But that's what I was talking about on these bales. That soil is on here is nice and started to break down really well. Since we're having fun with the straw bales, and these are charged so well, I'm gonna go ahead and set a couple of these up back here. We'll have a couple straw bale gardens going on. That'll still give us a decent path around this one and that one. Cabbages are making pretty good heads. We got cilantro getting ready to go to seed. We got beets and carrots maturing. I think we did okay with our cold frame this year. And you can do this too. If you're not having fun in the garden, it's all work. Now we've got our straw bale garden set up. We're gonna let the rain for tonight. It's supposed to rain till about 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And it's coming. We'll let that take effect. And then part 2 of our straw bale garden, we'll go ahead and plant that out. I hope you join me for that. And until next time, remember, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and God bless you. Come on, let's plant.
Let's go plant garden.